and with that being said, and you were talking about a percentage that was a little too aggressive, I know that a lot of advisors, they just kind of believe in being all in, that the 4% rule is going to work itself out. So even if someone hits the milestone age of 60 or 65 or even 70, they just leave everything 100% in. And a lot of clients don't know any different. They're trusting that advisor. So why is it possible that with that the 4% rule doesn't work when you reach a certain age? Maybe there's some time frames where you ought to adjust that and incorporate a little bit more safety and guarantee into it. And also in regard to that, because I know you know this very well, you're very holistic in what you teach with stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, all types of protections, and risk is a big part of a successful financial plan. But there's so much research today that says you shouldn't just be 100% in and never look back. So talk about that a little bit, if you will.
Yeah. So pre-retirement, when people are saving and accumulating, there is the idea of stocks for the long run, that if you hold on to stocks for long enough, they should outperform bonds, and you should be able to get a higher return over time holding a portfolio of stocks than holding a portfolio of bonds. Now, post-retirement, that idea can still exist, but it changes a bit, because when you're spending from the portfolio, it changes the math around what the long run means. If I sell from a portfolio and then there's a market downturn and a subsequent market recovery, well, pre-retirement, I just hold through that, and in the long run, I'll be okay. But post-retirement, if I'm selling in a market downturn, there's less of my portfolio remaining to benefit from the subsequent market recovery. And so that can really dig a hole for a retiree if there's a market downturn early on, that even though the markets ultimately may recover, the retiree's portfolio may not recover. And that's where risk changes in retirement. And a big part of that is, it's called sequence of returns. The order of the market returns matters when you're spending from the portfolio, in a way that the order of returns doesn't matter if I just invest money and leave it alone and let it grow over time. But when I'm spending from the portfolio, the order of returns does matter, and that amplifies the impacts of investment volatility on a retiree. So it's not that the market behaves differently or anything, but the impact of market volatility is different when I'm spending from a portfolio in retirement.
Very, very good. And I want to talk more about that when we come back from the break. We're going to jump into that. So if you're listening right now, you can always call into our show anytime, 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. When you call in, you can either request a copy of either of my books, Safe Money Matters or Bulletproof, the Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. You can also request a free financial consultation, and we'll sit down and specifically talk about some of the things that Wade's been talking about on the show today. What is the appropriate level of risk in your situation based on your age and all the economic factors that are there for your specific situation? So just call in anytime, 866-780-7233. We'll be glad to help. There's always someone standing by to take your call.